As golf fans, we wish our stars could play till they could no longer swing their clubs. But sometimes life has other plans, and we are forced to deal with their early exits from golf and life. In this video, we'll remember and celebrate several pro golfers who, before their untimely deaths, gave golf fans something to cheer about. You'll be surprised to discover how we were robbed of some of the greatest golfers in history. Tom Morris Jr. Young Tom Morris was the Tiger Woods of the 19th century. He won his first Open Championship at age 17 in 1868, and to this day, he remains the youngest winner of the prestigious competition. He then engraved his name in golf lore by winning the next 3 Opens between 1869 and 1872. His 4 consecutive Open victories is another record that still stands today. And looking at the shape of modern golf, it might just stand forever. Alongside his legendary father, Tom Morris Sr., young Tom Morris promoted golf all over Britain. His victories in challenge matches and pro events were widely reported in British newspapers. But in September of 1875, Morris lost his wife and baby to childbirth complications. This tragedy thoroughly broke his heart, and about 4 months later, he died on Christmas Day, aged 24. His death was reported as pulmonary hemorrhage causing apnea. Willie Anderson. Willie Anderson made the trip from Scotland to the U.S. in 1896. The following year, he fell short of winning the U.S. Open by just 1 stroke. And for the next 13 U.S. Opens, he never placed outside the top 5. These included his victories in 1901, 1903, 1904, and 1905. Since he did it, no other golfer has won 3 straight U.S. Opens. In fact, only Bobby Jones, Ben Hogan, and Jack Nicklaus have managed to win 4 U.S. Open titles as he did. But on the 25th of October 1910, at age 31, Anderson reportedly died from epilepsy. For all his achievements and as an original member of the PGA Hall of Fame, Anderson was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame in 1975. Willie Smith. Willie Smith won the 1899 U.S. Open by 11 shots, and this record survived for a century before Tiger Woods broke it in 2000 by 4 shots. The Scotsman earned his living as a club pro, so in 1904, he left his job at the Midlothian Country Club near Chicago for the Mexico City Country Club, and in 1910 he tied for 5th at the Open Championship. But in the same year, the Mexican Revolution broke out, and the Zapatistas attacked the Mexico City Country Club. After the attack, Smith was found trapped under a fallen beam, and the injury from that incident ended his career. 6 years later, on December 26, 1916, Smith passed away from pneumonia at age 40. Johnny Golden. Johnny Golden was an American professional golfer who won 9 times on the PGA Tour. He played in the first 2 Ryder Cups in 1927 and 1929. In those tournaments, he partnered with Walter Hagen in the foursomes, and the duo never lost. He also won his only singles match in 1927 by 8 and 7. As a result, he compiled a perfect Ryder Cup record of 3 victories, 0 draws, and 0 losses. But in 1936, at age 39, Golden died of pneumonia. Among his victories were 4 consecutive Connecticut Open titles, so in 2000 he was inducted into the Connecticut Golf Hall of Fame. Babe Didrikson Zaharias. At a time when women were not respected for their athleticism, Babe Zaharias excelled in multiple disciplines. She played basketball as well as she dove, and in the 1932 Summer Olympic Games, she set 4 world records and won 2 golds and a silver for the USA in track and field. She only picked up golf in 1935, but with her natural gifts, she became a golf pro in 1947. And after helping to create the LPGA in 1950, she went on to win 10 major tournaments. But in 1953, she was diagnosed with colon cancer. She later returned from surgery to win more trophies and continue as the president of the LPGA. However, her colon cancer came back in 1955, and on September 27, 1956, Zaharias died aged 46. She's a member of several halls of fame, and many golf courses have been named after her. Edward Stewart Porky Oliver Jr. Ed Oliver stood large at 5 feet 9 inches and 240 pounds, which doesn't sound like much today, but for his time, he was considered big. So his friend and countryman Sam Snead gave him the nickname Porky. He won 8 times on the PGA Tour and recorded runner-up finishes in all majors except the British Open, which he never participated in. Oliver's career was disturbed by 2 things: his deployment in World War II and the administrative jobs he took to provide for his family. However, his friendly character earned him a lot of support when he was diagnosed with cancer in 1960. And after a tough battle, he lost the cancer fight on September 21, 1961, at age 46. He is fondly remembered in his hometown in Wilmington, Delaware, where he was inducted into the Delaware Sports Hall of Fame in 1976. Tony Lima. Tony Lima, aka Champagne Tony, had the good looks of a film star, and his golf game was also good enough to win the 1964 Open Championship. After a slow start to life as a pro golfer, Lima won 22 professional tournaments in total, including 12 on the PGA Tour. At the height of his fame, he was one of the most popular faces in golf, and on July 24, 1966, Lima and his wife chartered a plane to honor an exhibition game in Chicago, Illinois. But their ill-fated aircraft ran out of fuel mid-air and crashed into a water hazard at Lansing Sportsman Club in Lansing, Illinois. That accident killed the 32-year-old Lima and every other person on the plane. Francis G. Bo Winninger. Like Porky, Bo Winninger also fought in World War II, but he didn't turn pro until 1952. After winning 3 pro tournaments between 1953 and 1959, Winninger quit golf for a while to work in public relations. But for the same reason that painters can't stop painting, he returned to competitive golf, winning twice in 1962 and once in 1963. However, on December 7, 1967, Bo Winninger died from a stroke at age 45. Donald Swalens. Donald Swalens was a Belgian professional golfer who played most of his golf in Europe. He was an inaugural member of the European Tour when it started in 1972. Even though he never won on the European Tour or the PGA Tour, he amassed 13 professional victories from his travels. Also, he was well respected among his peers as the flag bearer for a country that wasn't and still isn't known for golf. He was preparing to play in the 1975 Masters as the first Belgian to do so when he was diagnosed with cancer. Nicolas Colsaerts would get that honor in 2013, and that was only the second time a Belgian was invited to the big show at Augusta. 2 weeks after that 1975 Masters, Swalens passed away at age 39. Salvador Balbuena. Salvador Balbuena's first tournament outside Spain was the 1976 Portuguese Open, and he won it. It was his first win on the European Tour, and unfortunately, his last. He enjoyed 2 more consistent seasons, placing in the top 10 in several tournaments. But on May 9, 1979, Balbuena suffered a fatal heart attack at age 29. Heather Farr. Heather Farr spent 3 years at Arizona State University before turning pro in 1985. She earned her LPGA Tour card in 1986 and kept improving her game with each year on tour. But in 1989, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She battled her highly publicized cancer until she passed away from internal bleeding on November 7, 1993. She was just 28. In her honor, the LPGA has been awarding the Heather Farr Player Award every year since 1994. Payne Stewart. Payne Stewart's old-school shirts and knickers reminded fans of the earliest years of pro golf, but he also delighted them with his performances. Stewart won 24 professional tournaments, 11 of them on the PGA Tour, including 3 majors. However, on October 25, 1999, about 4 months after winning the U.S. Open, Stewart boarded a plane from Orlando, Florida to Texas. But the plane lost cabin pressure, and after over 4 hours of flying on autopilot, it ran out of fuel and crashed into a field in South Dakota. The crash took the life of the 42-year-old Stewart and everyone on board. And due to his status, the tragedy still lives in the minds of golf fans to this day. Blasberg. Blasberg was a highly rated golf prodigy from California. She joined the University of Arizona in 2002. And after blazing through her opponents in her freshman year, she played one more year of college golf before going pro in 2004. But things didn't go as expected on the LPGA Tour. She was picked up by brands for her looks, but on the course, she struggled. She recorded one professional win between 2004 and 2010, and her career problems eventually led her into depression. On May 9, 2010, 25-year-old Blasberg was found dead in her home, and investigations later concluded that she had taken her life. Grayson Colby Murray. Grayson Murray was an American golfer who turned pro in 2015, but he would have a hard time on tour due to his battles with severe social anxiety and depression. Still, these troubles didn't stop him from winning 7 professional events. These included 3 victories on the Korn Ferry Tour and 2 on the PGA Tour. But on May 25, 2024, 4 months after his victory at the Sony Open in Hawaii, Murray's parents confirmed he was no longer with us. Unfortunately, he had taken his own life at age 30. Please leave flowers in the comments for these golfers, and let's keep their memories alive by keeping golf alive. See you in another video.